saying.
Transition to Marcus Spears, ESPN NFL analyst, former defensive end, and member of NFL Live every weekday from, 4 to 5. He's got to put up with Dan Orlovsky. He gets the pleasure of working with Laura Rutledge, Mina Kimes, and Ryan Clark. And the big Swagoo joins us on the program. Are the Rams threatening?
Hey, Dan.
Hey, buddy.
They are, man. They are. The way Matthew Stafford is playing right now, offensively, this team. The eye-opener for me was against Baltimore and what they were able to do against that defense and the type of plays that they were able to make. And obviously, we know getting Cooper Kupp back was huge. Was a huge infusion of juice for this offense. And I love the running back Kyron Williams, who I think is one of the most underrated players in this year. So they fixed a lot of things. I think Sean McVay coaching has come to the forefront. Last year was just so bad, man. Injuries, not having a lot of your key pieces, but this year he's showing why he was regarded as one of the better, not only offensive minds, but head coaches in the league.
This time of the year, you get those teams that it's not the playoffs, but they're playing like it's the playoffs. Like every game, Buffalo's got to win out.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they're a big favorite against the Chargers. The Bengals and Steelers, there's a lot attached to that as well. Speaking of the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger had some critical things to say about the Steeler way offensively. Yeah. Maybe it's not there anymore. When you start to point the finger of blame here, does it start at Mike Tomlin that you can have the Steeler way on defense but not have it on offense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it starts with Mike. And, obviously he's one of my favorite people because I know him personally, but it starts with him. He knows that I don't hold any punches when it comes to that. You see some of the undisciplined things, some of the lack of effort things, and obviously we coming right off of the George Pickens not doing a damn thing on the block that could have potentially turned into a touchdown for them against the Colts. But I think Mike will tell you himself, it always starts with him. Offensively, the offensive coordinator job, I think that was held on too long. You could have made this transition way earlier. You saw that wasn't going anywhere. I think for as much as they get paid, DP, you damn right we're going to start with them when we see problems with the team, and that's who it goes to. And then that doesn't absolve these grown players from not, doing the minimal. Sometimes you just get beat. Sometimes you play teams that are better. But we've seen now this from Deontay Johnson. We saw this from George Pickens. We heard Najee Harris talk about be down and dejected about what they were doing offensively. So this feels like a holistic problem. And we were talking about it yesterday on NFL Live and realizing that this is also the second youngest offense in the NFL. So it's not a lot of leadership on that side of the ball, or not that calming presence that you would probably look for, or even the presence to challenge people when they're not doing their job. Like, I was fortunate to be around a lot of veterans in Dallas, a lot of dudes that would challenge you, call you out, and it made me a better pro. So I think it is more on Mike T to get that specific unit doing what they need to do.
How often does the defense take offense when the offense isn't playing well and say something to the offense, or maybe vice versa? How often does that happen, do you think, in a locker room?
It doesn't happen when they playing bad, because it's that they're trying to have success. The difference is when you see effort. Like, the difference is when you see physicality. And I think that's what TJ and obviously Cam and Minkah Fitzpatrick, when you look at the leaders of this team, they're not going to go get into the intricate details of why we can't run the football or why we don't have a bunch of yards offensively. But when you see, again, example, George Pickens not making a block, and then you couple that with the fact that we not having a lot of success offensively, and we haven't had a lot of success throughout the year, that's when you go over as a defensive guy and be like, man, what the hell wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
Though, look, what you saw, DP, is that is what happens before players only meetings. Those type of things are what give the validity to saying, hey, we kicking the coaches out, and the coaches have to do their job. But accountability in the NFL, and any good team that I've ever been a part of, the players took more accountability than having a coach have to say something about it.
Is Sean McDermott coaching for his job?
I think this last little resurgence, no. It's a crazy league though, DP. We know how crazy it is, man. Um,
If they don't make the playoffs?
if they don't make the playoffs, it's going to be a real conversation about if he's the guy going forward. I really believe that. And that because of the tremendous amount of success that Buffalo has had playoff wise, and Josh Allen has played really, really well, even though, the firing of offensive coordinator, the firing of a defensive coordinator, or the leave of absence of Leslie Frazier. I think if this team doesn't go to the playoffs, and I talked about it earlier this year, is that the NFL now is about windows. And if yours is open, you better try to make it happen. You better at least get there, right? Like if they miss the playoffs, think about this, DP. If the Buffalo Bills miss the playoffs, we are removed 2 years away from saying this was one of the best teams, if not the best team in football. And now you suffer injuries with Matt Milano. You got Tre'Davious Wright injuries as well. You look at the offensive side. Stephon Diggs has been up and down about his excitement or enjoyment about being there. Joe Brady is the best thing that happened to this team in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Because he's calling an offense that doesn't put everything on Josh, and some of those have translated into wins. I hate to say it, but I think so. Now it would still be surprising, DP, if they fired Sean McDermott, to me. But it wouldn't be something that I'm like, that there's no basis for that. It would just be to change direction and change course and hopefully get you over the top.
He's Marcus Spears. You can see him Monday through Friday, NFL Live at 4 Eastern with Laura Rutledge, Mina Kimes, Dan Orlovsky, and Ryan Clark. When you were with the Cowboys, how aware are you when you go out? Like everything you do when you're a Cowboy in that town as opposed to some other place that you played?
Yeah, it's crazy. I bet it's not as bad, DP, as like a Green Bay or a Buffalo,
Okay.
right? Because of the vicinity. But there's a lure to being a Cowboy, man. Like I still eat free around here. I still get people calling me to do stuff. I still make money off the fact that I played for the Cowboys. So it's one of those things where, look, this city was the second city I lived in my entire life, right? I grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was there all the way throughout college, and got drafted obviously in Dallas. So this is home for me. Beyond Baton Rouge, which is my heart and my home where I learned everything. But this city has been absolutely amazing. Now, obviously, the perks come with the fact that you were drafted by the Cowboys, and people recognize you and they want to be a part and attached. But you ain't like Troy Aikman on Monday Night Football. That got something to do with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm on ESPN. That got something to do with playing for the Dallas Cowboys. It's not just about local. Like the local people love us and they tell us every chance they get. But the national presence that you have when you play for the Cowboys as well is I think second to none. I mean, we all over the media. That ain't no coincidence, DP.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
You think from your career that you played for the Dallas Cowboys. To be honest, like all of the success that you had,
That's
you
true.
think you played for the Cowboys.
Yeah, backup tight end. I was there for a few years. Yeah, and a backup punter as
And
well.
a punter.
Yeah. I want you to tell me what Tua is referring to. Marvin, if we could play Tua Tagovailoa.
I keep receipts. We all have a way of how we do things, but like all the narratives about it, I am only good with Tyreek, and that you're right. That is the only time I am at my best. You're right. I'm only good when Jalen's in. I could care less about it. Like, sure, if Jalen and those guys aren't out, like I'm only as good as Raheem Mostert allows me to be. Like that's what the narrative needs to be, and we're able to win games and we're able to go where we want to go as a team. I am the worst football player if that's what you want. Like I don't care. Like I really don't.
I like that he cares. He says he doesn't care, but he cares.
Yeah, tremendous.
Okay, does he have a legitimate gripe here?
No. I mean, I think if see, DP, we always got to separate. I don't want to even say fans and people that actually watch the game in detail. Tua can play. Tua's a really good quarterback, very accurate, great with ball placement. The narrative about his arm strength, I never bought into it because I saw him play at Alabama and I saw him throw beautiful, deep passes down the field. I think the narrative on Tua is, with all of this talent surrounding you, are you going, or where do you fall in that order? This same conversation that I have about Brock Purdy. Right, everybody thinks that you mad or you hating or you don't think these dudes can play when you have a legitimate argument around them. Like, DP, honestly, when you walk into the stadium and you're about to play the Miami Dolphins, who the hell do you think the defensive plan starts with?
Tyreek.
It starts with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like, that is the narrative that's starting to make all of these quarterbacks think, or people in general think, that if you don't say that they the best quarterback, or that it's like they can't play at all. Like Brock Purdy, I was on Get Up the other day. Brock Purdy is playing out of his mind. He's absolutely elevated what this San Francisco 49ers team can do. That ain't the first person you think about when you walk in the stadium and you're playing against the 49ers. Like, you got to understand, when I come from a defensive perspective, I come from a perspective of sitting in a facility for 5 days a week, game planning on who do we have to make sure we take care of if we're going to have the best chance to win this game. You know who people saying that is for the 49ers? Christian McCaffrey. Just like people saying Tyreek Hill is the guy for the Miami Dolphins. So when do you get to Tua, right? When I go to Baltimore, Lamar Jackson is first on that list. When I go to Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes is first on that list. When I go to Buffalo, Josh Allen, the first person you got to take care of. When you go to Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers would have killed us if he wasn't the first person we had to decide that we were going to take care of. So that is how I determine when you start talking about quarterbacks.
Okay, but who's your MVP then?
My MVP is Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have, because first of all, DP, I have a flaw. Okay, this is I got to admit it. My flaw.
You got one. Okay.
I got one, just one.
Okay.
We all got to have one.
Yeah, sure.
Lamar Jackson to me is in a rare category. If it's not for Patrick Mahomes, and you can also put Josh Allen in this category, it should have been a revolving door around those three for league MVP, right? Because when I think of most valuable, Aaron Rodgers obviously in that, and he won them, so I omitted him because he won two of them. DP, tell me who's been more valuable to their team outside of Patrick Mahomes is the only argument, and obviously we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, but he won them. Who's been more valuable to their team outside of Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I've said for a while now that no team asks more of their quarterback than Baltimore does with Lamar Jackson.
Oh. And you got people that will argue Buffalo, and they got a legitimate argument.
But see, he already won his MVP. And you know how this goes in the media. We'd love to have a new story.
We want to move on.
That's why we're trying to get Dak in there, Brock Purdy in there. Yeah. You know, even Tyreek Hill, McCaffrey in there.
And it's not just us, DP. They do it in basketball. LeBron should have won at least 2 more MVPs in basketball. So look, Brock Purdy numbers, what he's done, absolutely should be in the MVP conversation. And I got him 2 because you just can't deny the success.
What if he looks great on Monday night against the Ravens and Lamar Jackson?
Then you're moving past Lamar Jackson.
Okay. But if Lamar wins that game.
In a win. He has to win the game.
Yeah. If Lamar wins that game, then all of a sudden he's your favorite.
Yeah, because if Lamar is my favorite now, but if Lamar wins that game, I guarantee you he's going to be who we walk away saying was the best player on the field. If San Francisco wins it, we ain't gonna walk away saying Brock Purdy was the best player on the field. All right, I love you.
Thank you.
People get mad at me for that, man. I have watched Brock Purdy snap after snap after snap. I'm not like Dan. I haven't seen every snap, Dan Orlovsky, but I've seen enough to know how much he's impacting the success of this football team. My only thing is this: when you didn't have 2 guys, you went 0-3 and averaged 17 points a game. Lamar Jackson lost Mark Andrews, they rolling. All right. He's lost offensive linemen. They rolling. He just lost his
Running
probably
back.
their most explosive running back.
Yeah.
He's still going to roll. We don't have that same type of sentiment, So, hey, now, last part on this MVP conversation. If Josh Allen didn't throw so many interceptions, he'd probably be the leader in the clubhouse.
They have to make the playoffs. Hey,
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you for coming on this year. We appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you, man.
Merry Christmas to you, brother. Send me some steaks. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do meat Friday.
No, come up. Just if you don't do it now, do it in the off season.
Where are you? Where are you again? Tell me again.
I'm about an hour from Bristol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do meat Friday. Friday hard, man, because I'm always home.
I'm like 20 minutes from Orlovsky.
Oh, that's why you don't like him.
Why?
Because you're too close to him. He gets on your nerves.
No, I just like guys who play the position really well.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we the same in that regard.
Thank you, Marcus. That's Marcus Spears. We'll take a break. We're back after this.